Hey, what's happening, everybody? As always, thank you so much for joining me for another episode. Today we are looking at the final series release of the Neca Toony Terrors. Now, even though this is Series 9, the last of the releases, it's not going to be the last of the Neca Toony Terror reviews. Again, there are probably close to a dozen additional packages that I have that weren't on the original checklist that I looked at. So, dude, 1 through 9, we didn't see those figures, so I am going to create a follow-up video to show off those figures. I do think that some of them are part of Series 10, but I haven't found a Series 10 checklist, so again, I'm kind of tossing it up as to where they actually go. Following that video, we're also going to look at the box sets. Once again, what series did they go to? I don't know. Something like the Killer Clowns, yeah, I know that was Series 7, for example, but where did the rest of these box sets go? What series? I'm not sure. Hopefully at some point, someone that's watching these videos, if you know what series they went to, please let me know. I would like to, because I keep all those series together in sequential order, so I definitely want to keep those box sets with their proper series release. So, in 2024, thus far, we have seen the Series 9 release of 4 characters. So, in Series 9, we are going to start with The Fiend. Now, I'm trying to think. The Fiend. Who is The Fiend? My first thought was Tales from the Crypt. Not Tales from the Crypt TV show with the Crypt Keeper. The 1972, I want to say, 1970s Tales from the Crypt movie, which was very similar to the Tales from the Dark Side movies. So, but they're basically the same type of anthology movies / TV shows. But I don't know. I don't remember if that's who that is. The Fiend. You know, yeah, I thought Tales from the Dark Side, of course, but I don't remember seeing him in there either. The end. Okay, here it is. It says Misfits. I have no idea what Misfits is. Is that a movie or a TV show? I haven't looked it up, so I'm not sure. Like I said, I thought it was like the Tales from the Crypt movie, and the 1970s. Again, Tales from the Crypt with the Crypt Keeper. They came out with multiple movies in the 90s. With the comedian Miller guy and who else was the other one? Bill Sadler was in another version of the movie. So yeah, they did have the Crypt Keeper versions, but that one is way past the original movie. The Misfits, I've never heard of it, or if I have, I don't know anything about it. So, but The Fiend, regardless, any of these ghouly type characters, you know, your ghosts and ghouls and goblins, might as well get the 3Gs in there. They always look pretty freaking cool. So this is an awesome addition to the collection. Looks like the candle can help be held in his hand. I'm not sure what this jar is, what that's all about. But what have I said in past videos? Looking at these figures and kind of doing like quick reviews on them, it gets me interested in going out and finding these movies and trying to watch them to kind of learn about the characters. And I've watched a few movies already just by reviewing these figures, and I've enjoyed them thoroughly. So I'm sure if I could find Misfits somewhere, I am going to try my best to go ahead and add that to my watch list. Hopefully something I can get knocked out in the next couple of weeks, because I'm always interested to learn as much as I can, regardless what you're learning about. If you're learning about music, movies, politics, whatever, right? Knowledge is power, and I would like to know more about this particular character. So, The Fiend. Number 2 is a relatively new character. I believe this movie came out in 23. Maybe 22. But I'm going to say 2023. This came out with Megan. And I thought that this was a really nice addition. You kind of think of like Child's Play, right? I kind of look at Megan as kind of like the female version of Chucky to an extent. Now, where Chucky was a human soul trapped in a doll body, memories, mind, thoughts, feelings, all that was just in a doll body. Megan actually is an actual android or robot, what have you. So her feelings in that are all basically programmed. So, but I don't know. I enjoyed that movie. I guess it's really split based on type of reviews I've seen. Some people love it, some people hate it. I think, movies like this, like Megan, for example, it's kind of like what I've described as Fran Drescher's voice, right? There is no in between. You either love her voice or you despise her voice. You can't be indifferent to it. Me, I love Fran Drescher's voice. And the girl that calls out Chandler, that says Chandler Bing, oh my god. However she makes that voice from Friends. She kind of sounds like Fran Drescher to me, so I kind of like that a lot. The hallway, this is when they're at the party. I think the CEO or big boss comes upstairs and he says Megan start dancing at the end of the hall just before she tracks him down and slices him down. This is a pretty cool figure. I'm trying to look at the feet and it looks like it might stand on its own. Man, she's got a freaking full-on machete. Not even a knife, man. She's full-on Jason Voorheesing it. That don't sound right, but you get the idea. Kind of funny. They actually have a real life-size Megan doll out. Like, it's like a 3-foot doll or something. I don't know what the intended purpose of that doll is. I mean, is it like a child's gift, or is it like an actual robot, like a Roomba or something? Something that can be programmed to like clean or something. I don't recommend Roombas, anyways. To me, they suck. They do not serve any purpose. But I'm sure some people might work for them. But anyways, man, this one is an absolute killer. I didn't know which one this came from because there's so many options of this particular look. So, one of my absolute favorite designs from the entire Neca Toony Terrors. I don't know if I would put him number 1. Number 2, maybe not. I would definitely have him in my top 5. And who am I talking about? Tarman. So, who is Tarman? Kind of looking at the back of the box with, the barrels and everything, I would think like Return of the Living Dead or Night of the Living Dead, something like that. Well, no, Night of the Living Dead, Day of the Dead, Dawn of the Dead. Those are all different movies from Return of the Living Dead. So, Return of the Living Dead actually has where like barrels are knocked over and these gases are released and they reanimate dead corpses and whatnot. I also thought this might come from like Jason Part 8. When like one of the principals or one of the teachers, when he gets picked up and dumped into that barrel of acid. Actually, it says it on here. The Return of the Living Dead. Yep. Trying to see if it's got a different part on here. But I'm assuming Part 1. Just look at that, man. Just overall look and design is freaking killer. They did an absolute remarkable job with this particular thing. Up until a few years ago, I never even heard of Neca. And Neca has been out for a ton of years. And they've come out with some of the coolest things I've ever seen. Now, keep in mind, I only started collecting at the tail end of 2021, so I've only been a collector for about 2.5 years, a little over 2.5 years, and it's not so much just collecting. I mean, toy collector. It was never my thing once upon a time, but ever since I got into this, I've gone in full force, and I'm so pleased. These things are like how have I described it? I described them as my art, right? And as a horror fan, how do you not love something like this? Tarman. Yeah, I've talked about the Miner from My Bloody Valentine being one of those figures that I definitely need to get loose. This Tarman figure, 100% absolutely, I get that guy loose as well. Trying to think of other major slashers. So I got Chucky already, got Hellraiser, Freddy, Michael and Jason, I got those already, so I don't know. I'm sure some of those other names will come out. There's a new release of Leatherface, the 50-year version. I haven't gotten that one yet, and I probably won't. By the time I do the next video, I'm not waiting on that figure. I haven't bought it yet, so I think I've seen it online for like $100, and no, it's basically identical to the one I've seen. I've already shown in Series 1. Except instead of a yellow outfit, he's got like a brownish tan outfit. Eventually, of course, I'll get it, but no rush on that. Alright, so here is another character I know nothing about. And does it give me a movie title? It does not. No movie title. It just simply says Vincent Price. Again, here is another cat that I tried looking up and trying to learn about him. Same thing with like the Svengali character in the last video. There was no information about this. Vincent Price, I think he was an actor in the early 20th century. So maybe in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, something like that. Had a bunch of different roles. Maybe I think I saw him dressed up as Dracula once. I mean, is that like a Dracula type look? I don't know. But maybe he played Count Dracula. Maybe when you think about like early stages though, when you think of like early going movies, right? There aren't really a lot of horror movies in the 1920s, 30s, right? Because really you'd have to go to like France or something to find horror movies, because people didn't want to go to theaters and watch horror. They didn't want to be scared. They wanted to, you go to movies to enjoy, right? To laugh, be happy. Me, I've grown up on horror films, so I've always loved it, always been obsessed with horror movies. And I always said horror movies to me, even if they're low budget B movies, you can't find a rom-com or a comedy or action adventure or most thrillers that are B movies and are solid quality. But a horror movie, even if the acting is absolute horrendous and the movie quality sucks, the overall theme is usually pretty good. So, but I think Vincent Price may have been one of those guys again in the early to mid 20th century who was probably a major horror actor. And Vincent Price, I think that was his actual name. I don't think he was. I don't think that was a character name. I think that was the actual person's name. I could be wrong. As far as design, I mean, it's just a nice outfit, nice little suit here. He's got a few different accessories. The extra hand, I don't know what the extra hand does. I mean, it looks like it's in the same exact pose as... Well, no. So this right hand is basically identical to the left hand over here. So why would you want to take this hand out, though, and switch out the opportunity to be holding the cigar? Or a cigarette, whatever it is. I don't know. It looks like a joint to me. But that is Vincent Price. And that is the end of Series 9. So far, the only 2024 releases with quotation marks. And I say with quotation because I have looked it up and they have been showing Series 10 figures. And I do have a bunch of figures that I'm going to be showing in the next video that are kind of like figures I didn't have shown in the other releases because they weren't showing anything on that checklist. So I think a couple of them might actually be current Series 10 releases. But at the same time, based on said checklist, it must not have been updated because it's not showing anything for Series 10. And you have to go on Google to look up Series 10, and they show a couple of figures, but I'm not breaking those down by Series 10 or anything like that. I'm just going to kind of show them as random individual figures. So that will be in the next video, the last video of the Neca Toony Terrors. Once again, we're going to be looking at the box sets. So definitely be prepared for that coming in the next day or two. Next 1 and 2 days. And until then, guys, as always, really appreciate your viewership and your comments, and look forward to talking to you further in the comment section. And see you in the next video, guys. Thanks as always.